Hi, it's Betsy from Betsy's Plumbing. I'm glad to see you. And this time I'm going to be talking about isolation valves. Isolation valves are what allow you to do your plumbing projects. What they do is shut off the water, which you must do before you start any project. One thing that I recommend, and I'm going to start with that now, is you should know where the shutoff is for your whole house. If you don't know where it is right now, make that your assignment for today, because if you have a water emergency, you have got to be able to get to the source and turn it off for everywhere. It's just a safety issue. It cuts out lots of water damage to your property and electrical problems, and in keeping everyone safe. If your house, for whatever reason, doesn't have a shut-off valve in its basement or in a wall. One time I found one in a cabinet, that a house that had been added onto so many times that it was instead all the way into almost the center of the home. So not where you'd assume the shut-off valve was. Anyway, if you don't find a shut-off valve for your whole house, in your house, you may need to call the water department to shut off the water, and which allows you then to install shut-off valves for all your fixtures. Because the worst thing is if you want to change out your sink and it has no isolator valve, you might not be able to unless turn off the whole water for the house, or if that's not possible, call the water company. So whenever you're installing a new fixture, make sure it has shut-off valves, and I'll show them to you now. Sorry, I've been rattling on. Okay, so this is a shut-off valve. When you install one of these, you'll notice that it has an arrow on the side that shows the direction of the flow of water, that you should be setting it up for that. This one you just use a screwdriver. Right now it's open because it goes up and down with the direction of the water. And when you shut it, it's turned sideways. It's like a dam inside this. This is called an isolation valve. Now, the interesting thing is these are for the same size pipes, but one is much bigger than the other. Can you see the holes? Yeah. This one is not great if you have bad water pressure, or you're having to put several on a line for whatever reason. This one's the best. It's called a gate valve, and it opens wide open. And then it's very easy to shut off. You don't need any tools. You don't need to get the screwdriver, nothing. You just do that. These are often used for washer dryer kind of levers, but they're great. The one difference you've probably noticed too is this is push fit. So usually used for plastic pipe. You just put the pipe right in there, versus this type is called a compression fitting. It comes with what's called an olive and a nut. And I have another video for you about what kinds of pipes to use and how to attach them, that kind of thing. Now, another kind of isolator valve is on a flexi pipe. Now, flexi pipes are wonderful, just like the flexi drain that I showed you in another video. This one has the isolation valve at the end of it, and then it's wonderfully flexible. You're not committed to rigid pipe, and it is a little more forgiving in terms of distances and stretching for if you miscalculated or whatever. These come in various lengths, and if you find that you've got one that's way too long, that can be a bad thing because it affects your water pressure if it's too long. So say maybe it's so long that it had to go in a loop. Well, that's not good. Water doesn't like going in loops and keeping up its same pressure. So try to get as close as you can to the right length, that you're going to really need. So you just have gentle bends. And this one is also a push fit. It's a different size, but it's gray, just looks different. I use a screwdriver to turn it on and off as well. And finally, this is also a gate valve, and this one's really important in that this is what is down in our basement for our whole house shutoff. Now, we don't do a lot of turning on and off that water, so we don't use it very often. And as you can see, gate valve, big wide open hole. The thing about these is if you go down there and you want to shut it down, we have very hard water, so we get deposits of the hard water deposits on things like this. If you want to shut it down and you're finding that it's quite stiff, Do not force it. Forcing it can break it. Forcing it can make it not work at all, ever. It won't shut down no matter what you do. And then you really do have to have the water turned off at the street to replace your shut-off valve for the whole house. So what you want to do, very gently, is rock it. Close it down, open it up. Close it down, open it up. And you may hear some crackling. You may start to feel like the resistance has lessened. So then when that happens, you close it down a little further, open it up, close it down, open it up. And hopefully that'll allow you to use this valve without damaging it, so you do not have to replace it. Okay? So this is another thing that when we talk, if we have a Zoom call consultations where you're not sure what you need, we can talk about valves and what you should be buying or what would be the easiest for your new first plumbing project, and we'll get you sorted. So thanks for joining me, and bye for now.